Hey guys, it's me. It's Queen Aset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please pass it on to anybody else who might like it. And leave us a positive comment in the comment section. And don't forget, if you want to, please stay to the end because I have two of my favorite positive comments from previous videos to read to you today. So somebody asked me to talk about Aquarius and addiction. I have known a lot of Aquarius that were addicts or read about Aquarius who were addicts. And people often ask me, what's the connection? Because anybody can be an addict. Anybody of the 12 zodiac can be an addict. And Aquarius, people want to know, why does that tie in sometimes? Well, it ties in with Aquarius because I'm going to tell you straight up, Aquarius like to get high. Straight up. Aquarius like to get high. And it's not all Aquarius, but it is a lot of Aquarius. And it's not always the things you would think. Some Aquarius get high off weed, LSD, any kind of drug, ecstasy, alcohol, all those kind of things. But that's not all. Some Aquarius get off on adrenaline. Some Aquarius get high off of chocolate, coffee, working. Anything that you can become addicted to, which is basically anything in the world, some Aquarius use as their get high. Aquarius, in a lot of cases, like to get high. So the thing about Aquarius and addiction is that everybody who gets high isn't an addict. If you are somebody who engages in red wine after dinner, you're not necessarily an alcoholic. If you're somebody who is supposed to, for example, pay their light bill and you use all your money on cocaine, you might be an addict. If you're somebody who's supposed to pay the mortgage and you spent all your money on new Jordans, you might be an addict. But instead of a drug addict, you're a shopaholic. People can become addicted to a number of different things, including entertainment. I know people that are addicted to their smartphones. And it's a real addiction. And you can Google it online. So almost anything you can become addicted to. And because Aquarius like getting high, we have a tendency, many of us, to either get high and be functioning sometimes, or get to the point where we're addicted and you can't control yourself. That's the only difference between an addict and a non-addict. A non-addict cannot control themselves. As somebody who, for example, let's say you're a shopaholic, right? And let's say that you go shopping and you like to shop, but you don't spend too much. You still pay your bills. You still have a savings. And you're still pretty much on point. So somebody like that, I wouldn't call an addict. Now, they do like to shop. They are getting high off those purchases. Don't get it twisted. But they're not somebody I would call a shopaholic or a addict. I would just say there's somebody who that's their high of choice. Somebody whose high is chocolate, for example. There's something in chocolate that I think either like causes some kind of chemicals to move in your body or something like that. Some people are addicted to it because of that. Everybody knows a caffeine addict. They can't even function till they get their cup of coffee. So Aquarius have a tendency to get high. Some Aquarius like to drink. Some Aquarius like to smoke weed. Look at Rick James. Rick James used to make songs about drugs. And when he passed away, they found more than one substance in his body. So a lot of Aquarius are like that. Now, mind you, it's not all of them, but it's a lot. A lot of Aquarius I know is working. Their high is working. When they're working and they're getting accolades for their work, that's what makes them feel high. When something happens at work and they're not getting accolades, they're depressed and down. So it is very common because of that. And the fine line between addict and non-addict is a very small one. So it's very easy to tip over that line, to go from being in control to being out of control. So I'm not going to say that Aquarius are addicts. I'm not going to say that Aquarius are always getting high. I'm going to say that many Aquarius enjoy getting high, and sometimes that can lead to addiction. Now, remember, if you think that you have a problem, pretending or hiding it is not what you want to do. What you want to do is deal with it head on. The first question you want to ask yourself is this affecting you in a manner that's detrimental? And if it's affecting you in a manner that's detrimental, and you have to be honest with yourself with these questions. If it's affecting you in a manner that's detrimental, you need to work on getting some help. There's hotlines and all kind of stuff, all kinds of rehabilitation services and all kind of stuff. Even for like gambling, there's Gamblers Anonymous. Some Aquarius get addicted to gambling. Again, it's the high. Some Aquarius are adrenaline junkies. They like jumping off buildings and riding bikes and stuff like that. Anything that makes them feel adrenaline. And someone asked me why. She was like, okay, I feel you on, the connection, but why? Why is Aquarius like that? I think it's two reasons why. The first reason I think is because a lot of Aquarius spend a lot of time in our head. So I know for me personally, when I drink, I like rum, I like vodka, I like alcohol. I just don't like beer. I think beer is nasty. So if I'm drinking, if it's a small amount or if I'm out partying or something like that, I really just want to stop thinking. I want to just detach. I want to detach from those thoughts, and I just want to just have fun, So some Aquarius I think are like me, and I think because we're constantly thinking, constantly moving, constantly shaking, some of them do things to slow themselves down, And I think that some people do this with, legal pharmaceuticals, over-the-counter pharmaceuticals, or over-the-counter or behind-the-counter pharmaceuticals. So there's different ways to address it, but I think that some Aquarius, they just address it with like alcohol or something like that. So if I'm drinking, that's what it's about. It's slowing myself down. So when she asked me why, I was like, I think it has a lot to do with that. Another thing, and this was told to me by an Aquarius. I know an Aquarius who's into riding motorcycles, all kinds of adrenaline kind of stuff. But when he rides motorcycles, he's like jumping over ramps and standing up on it and all kind of stuff. And I said to him one day, like, why? What is it about? Because that scares me. I don't get anything from that. And I was like, why? And he said, because I don't feel anything. And when we sat and broke this down, and if he really explained it to me, I was shocked with what he said. He said he doesn't feel anything. He's very detached. He detaches from his emotions because obviously they're going to hurt, or he assumes they're going to hurt. So he detaches from his emotions. So the adrenaline is the way that he feels something without it hurting. It's a positive feeling, he told me. It's a high feeling. And it's something that stops him from feeling the nothing. And he likes the nothing on one hand because he doesn't want to feel the hurt that's on the other side, but he wants to feel something. So that's how he gets it. So he gets high off of the adrenaline because it's the only thing he can feel, or the only thing he will allow himself to feel. So that's why, from what I've heard from people. So my thing is, like I said before, if you think that you have a problem, talk to somebody. If you think that this is something that you don't, if you're working too much or eating too much chocolate or smoking too much or taking pills, whatever you're doing, if it's something that is detrimental to your life, talk to someone. It's not the kind of thing you're going to be able to work on by lying to yourself and others. And if you're having a drink after dinner, you're maintaining your life, you're doing the things you're supposed to do, you have to really look at your life and tell, is this an addiction? Is this a problem? Because having a chocolate bar once a week is not going to kill you. It's not going to, I wouldn't call you a chocolate addict, even though that isn't a real one, but it is one that people do. People do it all the time. But if you, I'm going to tell you one about me. When I was working as a high school teacher, I had a wicked addiction to caffeine. I could not start the day without some caffeine. And one day I realized that it was an addiction because I was late, almost late. I had never been late for work. I had been working teaching for almost 10 years at this point. I had never been late. I'd been absent, but I had never been late. I was almost late one day to stop and get a cup of coffee because I was running late and I was like, F that, I'm getting my coffee. And I did get my coffee, then I went to work. And then I said to myself, you know what? This is not good. Anytime you're willing to have your pay docked for a $1 cup of coffee, you are addicted to this caffeine. And I made myself stop drinking coffee in the morning. Now, I did start drinking coffee again. You know, when I moved to Costa Rica, Costa Ricans drink coffee all day. So I did start drinking coffee again. But for all those years, I wouldn't drink it before work. And now I only allow myself 1 cup because I know my coffee addiction can and will get out of hand. So if you have to be honest with yourself about how it's affecting you is my point. Okay. All right, guys, let's take a look at my favorite comments. Gimme Cornbread said, regarding the comments, someone told me I am not a normal woman. So that's what she said. I saw this morning. And I responded to her like this, with a quote from Aunt Frances. Aunt Frances was in one of my favorite movies called Practical Magic. And the quote says, "My darling girl, when are you going to realize that being normal is not necessarily a virtue? It rather denotes a lack of courage." That was my response to her comment this morning. Because a lot of people think that being normal is this wonderful thing. But the truth is that in a lot of cases, it denotes a lack of courage. It means that that person didn't take any chances. It means that person stayed on the straight and narrow path that everybody else was going on. It means that that person never allowed themselves their own creative ideas or to chase after their dreams. Not exactly a virtue. Jordan Oliver, my buddy Jordan, me and Jordan talk all the time. Jordan said, we do have high standards. We being Aquarius. Jordan is an Aquarius. We do have high standards of who we befriend or have a relationship with. I noticed this myself. He's 100% correct. I was just talking about this the other day in the video. Yeah, Aquarius are really funny about who will be around. I mean, that's just the bottom line. And people often get angry about it. And I'm like, look, if an Aquarius don't want to be around you, keep it moving. Because somebody does want to be around you. That's not the end all and be all. Just because the Aquarius don't feel like y'all click, doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Move on. So many more fish in the sea. I think it's billions. Am I correct? I think it's 6 billion people on this planet. So if one Aquarius doesn't think that the two of you click, move on to somebody else. Okay? All right, guys. Come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you later.